Welcome to Tyrone Bowman Live. For the first time since dropping out of the race, President Biden joined Vice President Kamala Harris on the campaign trail. Why? It was a moment of celebration. What were they celebrating and talking about? According to The Guardian, Biden and Harris celebrated the landmark deal rather, to lower medication prices for seniors around the nation. So I'm going to talk about that for a few moments on this evening, and also I'm going to be bringing extensive coverage rather. Pardon me, let me get my act together. I'm going to be bringing extensive coverage of the Democratic convention, the highlights of speakers. I'm not going to bring everything in its entirety, but the highlights, the most pivotal and important parts of the speeches that are going to be given by the Democratic people coming together. And you can believe that convention is going to be off the chain. So let's get down to this article right here as we get ready to close out for tonight. According to The Guardian, the headline reads, Biden and Harris celebrate the landmark deal to lower medication prices. So, according to The Guardian once again, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris on Thursday cast themselves as the champions of American seniors in a David and Goliath fight against big pharmaceutical companies at a joint event touting a landmark deal to lower the cost of prescription drugs. As you know, this has been an ongoing saga. The people on the right, they don't want to lower medicated drugs. We finally beat Big Pharma, the U.S. president declared, sharing the stage with his vice president for the first time since he abandoned his re-election bid in late July, and Harris replaced him as the Democratic nominee. The event, which came after a morning announcement about new lower drug prices for beneficiaries of Medicare, a government health insurance plan for seniors, was an opportunity to persuade voters that their administration has helped ease costs after years of high inflation. Healthcare, particularly the high cost of prescription drugs, is a top concern for U.S. voters. Biden had held a slight lead over Donald Trump for his platform throughout the year before he dropped out of the race. That is a stipulated fact. So they're celebrating the victory. It's going to be signed into law, and immediately seniors around the nation are going to start getting some big time relief when it comes to getting their medication. Why couldn't this have been done under the Trump administration? Why did it take Biden and Harris to get it done? Because the Republicans support Big Pharma, point blank. You know, their lobbyists, their consultants who lobby on their behalf, pay them billions of dollars to make sure that the pharmacies continue to make the money. Harris spoke first, calling Biden our extraordinary president, as the crowd packed into the gymnasium at Prince George's Community College rose to its feet to applaud the president. Thank you, Joe. They chanted in appreciation of, according to several attendees, his record and his decision to step aside and pass the torch to Harris. I'm going to bring that video probably later on in the week. Biden called Harris an incredible partner and said she would make one hell of a president. That's what he had said. I heard him when he said it. Biden called Harris an incredible partner and said she would, quote, make one hell of a president. Biden, seeking to cement his legacy in the final months of his presidency, celebrated the deal, lowering drug costs as a fulfillment of a hard-fought and long-sought legislative ambition, while also looking to Harris to ensure his policies endure. Kamala and all of us in this room are going to keep standing up to Big Pharma, Biden said. I fought too damn hard to yield now. Harris's success as a presidential candidate made huge in part on how voters perceive the administration's sweeping economic agenda. that she helped deliver as vice president. We finally addressed the long-standing issue that for years was one of the biggest challenges on this subject, which was that Medicare was prohibited by law from negotiating lower drug prices, and those costs then got passed on to our seniors. Harris said, but not anymore. The 10 drugs subject to negotiations, among them widely used blood thinners and diabetes medications, are expected to save $6 billion for Medicare, which is a major government health insurance program covering millions Americans older than 65 and those with certain disabilities. The administration said seniors should have or save $1.5 billion directly in out-of-pocket costs. The negotiated prices, which take effect in 2026, were authorized by the Inflation Reduction Act, one of Biden's signature legislative accomplishments that passed without a single Republican vote. In fact, it was the vice president who cast the tie-breaking vote in her role as president of the Senate. Before Biden and Harris spoke, administration officials and Maryland politicians celebrated the deal while thrilling the crowd with discreet references to Harris's candidacy. President's a good title for her. The retiring Maryland Senator Bob Cardin winked in his remarks, crediting Harris for helping to pass the Democrats' sweeping health and climate change bill. Biden, who simultaneously touted his record in office and passed the torch, warned that if given a second term, Trump, who the president mocked as the guy we're running against, what's his name, Donald Dump, would repeal Medicare's authority to negotiate drug prices. He named the sweeping conservative policy agenda Project 2025 that Trump has sought to distance himself from. And I'm going to do an extensive report next week on Project 2025. So get ready for it. I've been doing my research, and now I'm going to talk about it. Let me tell you what our Project 2025 is. Beat the hell out of them, Biden said, drawing loud applause. Republican lawmakers have been highly critical of the Biden administration's move, arguing that government-negotiated drug prices will stifle innovation and result in fewer life-saving drugs being brought to market. Basically, they're saying, you're cutting into our money, bruh. You're cutting into our money. In a joint statement, House Republicans accused Biden of price fixing, whatever. I'm not going to even say what Speaker Johnson said. Whatever the Speaker of the House has to say on the Republican side, it really doesn't matter. Kudos to President Biden and Vice President Harris for getting things done. Coming up next week, extensive report about Project 2025. Have a great weekend, everybody. Never surrender. Never quit.